Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Aston Martin Vulcan Forza edition in multiplayer in Forza Horizon 4. Yes, the old Asphalt 8 King is back and kickin', so I'm using a tune made by Tamura Jr. Now, this tune has about 1200 horsepower, and it weighs about 2800 pounds. Now, there are some other S2 class tunes that have worse power, but lower weight and better grip, so it just depends what you are looking for. So first of all, we're going to do the acceleration and top speed test, which is something I didn't do in the Bone Shaker or the PLP 50 video, and I thought I'd bring it back for this car. Maybe I will do it with the faster cars, where it's actually very important what its top speed is. So the Vulcan with this tune actually has the same engine in it, I believe, that you have if you tune it up to X class, which means it starts off extremely quickly, pretty much like it would with an X class tune. Now we are going downhill in the tunnel. Yes, this is how we are getting up to this speed, I believe, and it actually manages to get up to just around 250 miles per hour. I could not get it to go beyond that with this tune. In comparison, the Vulcan in Asphalt 8 can go up to 315 miles per hour, and the Vulcan in Asphalt 9 can go up to around 220. So in Forza, it sits right in the middle. So in this video are going to be 2 races that were in a private lobby I did with 5 other Purple Team members. If you would like to join in these races, join the Purple Team Discord, link in the description, go to the Special Roles channel, give yourself the Forza Horizon 4 role by clicking on the FH4 emote, then I will tag that role whenever I do a private lobby, and then you can join by following the instructions that I will post at that time. If you have Forza Horizon 4, this is a great way to get in a video of mine. After these 2 private lobby races, we have 2 races that were recorded in online multiplayer with the new custom adventure feature, which I will tell you about when we get there. So this first race is on Lake District Sprint. We've also got another Aston Martin Vulcan Forza Edition, or FE for short. Also, there is a Corsa, which is a new car that I do plan to test at some point. There's also a 911, a McLaren Senna, and a Pagani Zonda C. So the thing about the Vulcan FE, and this is kind of what we will see throughout the video, at least with this tune, it has very strong launch. Like at the beginning of the race, you're pretty much going to get ahead of most people. But once you get to the turns, that's where it struggles. It seems to have a rather wide turning radius, and I find that I have to brake more around turns to avoid hitting the outside than some other cars do, like the Senna or the Apollo IE, or probably even that MC12 Corsa up there. So that is one thing that I was struggling a little bit with in this car. But if you can get long straightaways with wide sweeping curves, this thing will really book it around there. In terms of how easy it is to drive, I would say it's probably about average. It's not as easy to drive as a car like the Senna, for example, which has one of the best handling in the game, and it's not as hard, obviously, as a car like the PLP 50, which you should definitely go see my video about if you haven't seen it yet. So here we are coming up to the finish line with this other guy right on my tail, and we do manage to finish in 2nd place. Now, a lot of the cars that I'm going to be facing in this video are better cars, I would say, than the one I'm using now. The Aston Martin Vulcan FE is not an especially great S2 car. It's not bad, but it's not amazing either. Now, this next race, which turned out to have an extremely interesting ending, is on Glen Rannoch Hillside Sprint. Now, this track has a lot of changes in elevation and a lot of twisty bits, at least near the end, so we'll have to see how this car does around there. As you can see here, we're at first at the beginning of the race because of the car's great launch, but I have to brake a lot around the corners, and this is really where people start catching up. That was a common trend in all of the races that I played in this car, because I did do quite a few practice races before actually making this video, because I like to do that now, just to get a feel for the car. Of course, I'm still not the greatest Forza driver, as you can probably tell, but it definitely does help. One really sort of odd thing I noticed about this car that doesn't really happen on a lot of other cars is whenever I go around a turn going hard on the D or A keys, because yes, I do play with the keyboard, it makes a skid sound. Even when the car doesn't skid, and it grips the road perfectly fine and takes it around the corner perfectly fine. I don't exactly know why. It's really weird. But overall, after driving this car, it's not a completely different experience than in the Asphalt 8 and 9 versions. Obviously, it's a completely different game with completely different physics and stuff like that, but sometimes you can just feel that cars sort of weigh about the same. For example, it's a bit difficult to explain, but if this has happened to you, you know what I'm talking about. So at this point in the race, I'm still in first, holding the lead for a bit here, but then this other guy manages to catch up to me. You can see his headlights back there. This is one good thing about driving at night. While I don't normally like nighttime races, you can see headlights behind you, which is nice to see behind you without having to press the back arrow key or whatever. Now there, because I did not brake enough for the turn back there, those two guys managed to pass me, and that guy almost manages to pass me, and then he sort of does, but then he sort of doesn't again. And so we come up to these turns, and yeah, this is where the Vulcan struggles to get around quickly, because it slows down quite a bit around these. However, at the end of this track, we do have a bit of a longer section. Now that F99XXE took the corner a bit too much to the inside, I think, and we've also got this Vulcan ahead of us here. Now the finish line is just ahead. I try to pass him, don't quite make it, and thus I come up right behind him and go across the finish line in third place. Or so I thought. I actually came in second, because the guy who actually came in third apparently missed the last checkpoint. Now for a multiplayer race on the Lake District Sprint against a LaFerrari, a MC12 Corsa, and a KTM Expo. Now this is in the Custom Adventure. So let me explain a bit in more detail what Custom Adventure is. So if you go to Unranked, because it is only in Unranked that you can do this, you can go all the way to the right and see Custom Adventure. You can choose 4 things. You can choose the type of race you want, so road, street, dirt, or cross country. I did not pronounce that right, but who cares? Let's move on. You can also choose the class, any class except for X class, I believe. You can also choose whether you want free roam on or off, and whether or not you want collisions. I believe you don't have to choose a race type, but I chose road all this time because that is what most of the cars that I use are built for. Now, once you've chosen everything, you will get paired with other people who have chosen the exact same things as you. For example, what I have chosen now, and it seems to be pretty popular, is road, S2, collisions off, free roam off. Now, this does mean you can have free roam with S2 if you wanted that for some reason. So it's definitely a way to do that. This has been something I've been wanting for a long time, to just be able to choose whatever class I want, because it allows me to more easily find races for videos. Because, I kid you not, when I was doing some, I think it was the F99XXE, maybe a different car, but some S2 class car, it literally took me 20 tries of going into online adventure to finally find some S2 races. Just one, actually, and then I think I didn't even get at the very beginning, so I only had 1 or 2 races in it. Yeah, it's pretty bad, so this is a very, very nice addition. So is, in general, the wall riding fix. However, it does have some issues. I believe they should make it such that you have to be touching the wall for a short amount of time and not just tap it in order to slow you down. Because sometimes what happens, you barely touch it, and then you get slowed down for 3 seconds. Also, yeah, I don't think you should continue to be slowed down for many seconds after you finish touching the wall. I don't think that's quite fair, and it's a bit annoying. So here we come in second. Not too far behind that other guy, but we did beat the Corsa and the LaFerrari. Now for our final race of the video. We have a nearly full lobby against a lot of overpowered cars, like the F99XXE, the McLaren 720S pre-order. There's a whole bunch of powerful cars in here. So let's see how this, well, kind of average S2 class car can do against them. So now it's time for my general review about this car. I would say it's definitely a car worth picking up. I think it's about 1 million credits in the auction shop, so it definitely doesn't come cheap, but you also can get it as a wheel spin reward, so that is probably how most people are going to be able to obtain it. Now, it is a bit better than the normal Vulcan, not by much, but 3 of the stats I think have like 0.3 higher or something like that. So I would say if you manage to get this car in one of those ways, definitely give it a shot in multiplayer. Don't expect amazing results. As you can see here, it really does slow down a lot more than the other cars around. And if I hadn't slowed down as much there, I probably would have hit the outside. Maybe it's just my tune. I don't entirely know. Yeah, you should try it, just don't expect expect any huge wins all the time. If you want something like that, go for something more like the F99XXE or the Ferrari FXX. A lot of Ferraris are extremely good in this game, actually. Here we come in 4th, but we do manage to beat the 599XXE, the Ferrari F50, and a bunch of other powerful cars. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you've enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 9 and Forza Horizon 4 content. And I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!